All right, boys. Looks like I'm live. Hopefully, I am live, and hopefully, you can hear me well on this Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. I think I can close this. Let me close my naughty boy browser as I always have to do. And then I got my good boy browser open up. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I like how I closed the tab, and this is what I'm greeted to. It's like, hello, like, hi. How are you? How are you, Francesca Estevez? I should send her the link. As a matter of fact, I'm going to log on into Instagram. I was going to say Amsterdam. I'm going to log into Instagram, and I'm going to send her the link in case I'm going to say, let me see. I'm going to think of something funny to say because you never know when like a super hot famous girl is going to hop into the stream, right? Going live. They're just sending it. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Now that I have sent the link, okay. Wait, I actually have a message on there. What is this? Yeah, I get people send me like little funny memes and crap on Instagram. People that I barely know. You mean Delta Squad, not Squad. Never mind. Saw the thing. Saw the thing. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and get started. Okay. I could never close a tab on Francisca Estevez, so I'll just open up a new one. All righty. What we're going to do today is this is not going to be a stressful stream. This is not going to be a stream where I'm yelling a lot. This is not going to be a stream where I'm getting frustrated because I don't immediately understand something. I feel like that's a characteristic of getting older. For me, not in general, but for me, I have noticed that if I don't pick up on things very quickly, I assume it's because I'm getting older and getting slower, and then I get angry about it. So how true that is, I don't know. I'm sure there probably is some truth to the aging because your mind gets more solidified, but I remember a long time ago reading about the best ways to kind of fight off dementia or to kind of prevent yourself from getting dementia. And one was to do puzzles. And I have always thought that programming was it was a very similar type of thinking as it is when you're doing puzzles. So I've always thought, okay, well, as long as I can keep programming, then I won't get dementia. So I think that's what it is that when I get a little confused or frustrated or I don't pick up on something right away, I'm like, oh, the dementia's winning. It's like a constant battle between like clear-headedness and dementia, and they're just struggling, like they're each pushing against each other. So today we're going to fight the dementia back a little bit. What we're going to do right now, the input system for this game is a mess, essentially. And I need to figure out what I want to do and how I want to do this. This is not going to be a very Unity-heavy stream. We're not going to be doing there'll be some Unity-specific stuff, but this is going to be mostly about design and refactoring. So it's going to be some design work. So what I want to do is I want to start out with kind of like how I think I want to use this, this input system that I'm envisioning in my head. One thing I'm not really sure that I'm going to be able to avoid is, so there's a lot of this. There's a lot of having an update function in a class and then having input get something within that class. Now, I should mention that I am not going to worry too much today about the mouse input. I think we can tackle that some other time. This is mostly about keyboard input, and let me show you why. I believe I'm on master, so let me go ahead. I believe I'm on the latest master code as well. Let me go ahead and start the game. And oh wait, the game didn't start. But I want to show you like the kind of bugs that are coming up, and they're becoming more and more, and the kind of issues that we need to fix. All right, so we're going to run the game. And like I said, there's not going to be a lot of the hell. there's not going to be a lot of like Unity stuff on this stream. Okay, so we still have the, so if I come and I press this, this is the inventory system. So let's see. Okay, so that's not too bad. But let's actually, so Matthew kind of redid that dialogue, and I'm wondering if there's something we didn't think about here. Wait, where's Green Guy? Isn't Green Guy here? Oh, I disabled Green Guy. Okay, let me go back and enable Green Guy, because I don't know that I want to see how the NPC's inventory, like what the, oh shit, and I deleted that dialogue. We may be in a position where we cannot edit an NPC's inventory, and that is an issue. That is a big issue. So and this is the kind of thing that happens. Okay, so although this isn't really related to the inventory system, this is really an oversight on my part. But whoopsie. Okay, let's come over here. Try to. Oh my gosh, I'm getting stuck in the houses. Okay, well there's Green Guy. I have a feeling it's going to throw an exception if I go to View Inventory. Yeah, and it threw an exception. Or wait, did it? Yeah, it just didn't do anything really. Let me see. Yeah. And I think part of that is because I actually ended up deleting the oh man, this is worse than I thought. Okay. All right. So if Matthew is here, which I don't think he is, because I think he was up until 9 a.m. his time, which is ridiculous. But I think the way to fix this is what we do is, where's the HUD? And I think we can still move forward with what we have. And I think the way to fix this, so if I go over here, I think what we can do, basically, we might either need more tabs here or, oh shit, no, that's not good. That's not good. No, actually, it's not that bad. Actually, I think maybe we can fix this. Okay, so let's see. Because, well, we need two things. One, we need the codex overlay to have the... So the way Matthew did it, I don't think there's any way to set which tab is active when you load that codex. So I'm calling it the codex overlay. So I don't know that, and if you look at the codex overlay, if we go over here and we load up the canvas, you can see that there, whoopsie, I'm on. You can see that there, so these are supposed to be tabs at the top. Personally, I think this is a little unintuitive, but UI issues like that we can address later. Right now, we're just concerned about functionality. So inventory, what I want is I want a way to load up this window and decide which tab is active. And from, you know what? We might just take inventory out of this. Yeah, we might. Inventory might just be its own beast. Okay, so luckily the inventory panel here is not deleted. So luckily I did not delete that. So let's go back here. What we can do is we'll disable this canvas. And I think, right? Oh, okay. Wait, what? Who? What? There's this, suddenly that's as big as the, okay, let's go back to the code. Okay, so here is where it is, and then luckily we have this. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add this back. Else if input, okay. Now, I don't know what the AI is saying here. I think it's just trying to close some things. If inventory instance is, okay, so, let's look at what it used to be. So this is in Player Interactor. If we go, we can look at this is the nice thing about source control and why you should be using source control if you're not. We can just go, we can look at what the code used to be very quickly. Player I was typing Player Interactor. Okay, again, today's stream is all about trying to fight off the dementia that is coming for me. The dementia that I know is just coming for me, but programming is going to help us fight that dementia off. And it's a battle. It's a constant, lifelong battle. Eventually, the dementia will win because you'll be dead. Although, is that really a victory for dementia if you're dead? I guess not. So yeah, no, we can't let the dementia win. Okay, so here is the code, the original code for the inventory. So let's kind of just... Actually, let's just kind of restore this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove as much as, you know, I kind of unfortunately we're going to have to I think get rid of Matthew's hard work on that. Well, not really, because we're still going to be using a lot of the codex overlay. So let's just see. So let's see. So this was I. And then, do we have another show inventory that he commented out? Yes. No, he didn't comment it out. That's interesting. Oh, I wonder if... Okay, I think I know why. So as I was telling Matthew yesterday, there was some issue where show inventory had to be activated in order for it to be shown. But actually, I think I know how we can avoid that. Oh, and speak of the devil, he is here. Let me resize this so I can get the chat correct. And then I got to shrink it just a little bit. I haven't even read the message yet. I'm just worried about the window size. Okay. If you open NPC inventory, you need to open the codex to view it. The functionality is still there, but depends if you... Yeah. So what I was just getting... Oh, God damn it. So I think what I was saying is I'm going to... I think we're going to end up... oh, come on. Where's the chat? I think we're going to end up removing the inventory from that codex. And then the inventory will be a separate animal. Okay, there we go. So that's kind of what I'm kind of just restoring that functionality. I think that's going to be because I think it's going to be, I was thinking you could have like a drop down in the inventory tab. It tells you like some type of drop down of which NPC's inventory you wanted to view, that kind of thing. I think that might be a little confusing. I mean, and I apologize, Matthew. I probably should have thought of this earlier. But I like yesterday when we were talking about this, like NPC inventory completely escaped my mind. So I think we'll probably just end up having the inventory in as a separate thing. So I'm going to enable the dialogue for now, just for now. I don't know why it's as big as the screen though, but let's just run it. Let's just see what happens. Come on. Come on. All right. So if I go to... Okay, so it's actually not doing anything with I. I'm wondering if my... No, I was wondering if my logic here was wrong, but Matthew followed a similar pattern, so let's just see what's going on. Okay. Let's attach it. So I'm pressing I. So I'm guessing is active is true. Which I suppose makes sense because it was okay. All right. Then let's do this. Let's try that. It's set to fit the parent, which is good for the codex, but we just need to set its anchor to the center again and change the size now using the previous dialog. Okay. Yeah. We'll do that in a sec. I just wanted to get it working in general. Let me see if we can do this. So did I understand, Matthew, that you went to sleep at 9 a.m. your time. Did I understand your message correctly? You said, no, my schedule is fucked, so I tried staying up. Got to 9 and I was dead. So you stayed up till 9 a.m. your time, went to sleep, and are just waking up just recently, I'm guessing? Okay, so I is still not working. All right. M is working, but I is not working. So that is a pickle. What is happening here? Well, let's see if it's still hitting the same thing. Let's just attach this. And then we'll look at the end. So wait a minute. Okay, so we're going to come over here. Okay. Press I. It still says it's active. Okay. Why is it active? Let's look at this. Let's look at this a little more closely. Because it definitely is not active. Unless it is getting activated. And KS is in the house. Hello. Good morning. Matthew says, yes, not sure persuaded me to make an omelet. And yeah, I had a decent 4 hours, assuming an earlier bedtime and my routine will be a bit normal again. Yeah, this time change, I woke up at about 2:45. Now, my body thought it was about 3:45, and it ruined me. Like, I got stuck in my head because of the time change, and just everything was it just ruined me. And so I was up, and so then I tossed and turned until 4 o'clock, and I got out of bed at 4 o'clock, and I was like, all right, I'll just go back to sleep. And then I did. I got back in bed at around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then eventually got out of bed at 7:30. KS says Matthew's game is really cool. It is really cool. It looks beautiful. Like, it absolutely looks beautiful. Like, obviously a lot of hard work and experience went into that. Like, it's a very nice looking game. Okay. Let me see what we got. Okay. I want to look at this here. Okay. So this is just all the stuff. Okay. Is active in dialogue, inventory dialogue enabled. There we go. Okay. So I think what I want to do is I actually want to set this active. And then the canvas element, which is this, would be disabled. Okay, got it. All right, I think we're cooking with fire now. You too, Addy. Your game's cool, just different. No, thank you. No, functionality is one of the reasons I'm a back-end programmer. Is that functionality often is not often. Functionality is more. I'm trying to think of how to word this. The back-end mechanics have always been more interesting to me than aesthetics. So a lot of the times, like when I build web pages, I'm really concerned about the functionality of it. That is it smooth? Is it working as fast as it can? Does it make sense? But the way it looks, I don't give a shit. It might look like crap. Okay, so we are still not able to get the dialogue. Okay, what's happening here? But actually, KS, I don't know if you knew this or not, but so Space Nomads, which is Matthew's game, is actually a sequel to St. Aveline, my game. So we're creating a trilogy. It is the Not Sure trilogy, where my game is the first game. You start out on this planet, and you have to escape this island. And then the end of my game, what will happen is you'll get into a spaceship, and you go up to space. And then that's when that's when you become a space nomad. And then you're roaming the galaxy in Matthew's game. And then we still haven't quite figured out what the ending of, well, actually, maybe Matthew does know what the ending of his game is, but we still have to figure out how Matthew's game transitions into Not Sure's game, which is a beach volleyball game. So each game is unique. But we still got to figure it out. Hey, this game got freaky dog vibes. I love where that's going. Dog vibes? You prefer making methods and objects straight to the point. No, yeah, I think also, like, I'm colorblind, so aesthetics have always been difficult for me. Like the way that things look, that's always been difficult for me. But just in general, I tend to like very simplistic, very simplistic designs. Okay. Well, that's another issue we need to fix. Okay. Let's see. It still says the dialogue is active, and that does not make sense to me. Okay. Where did it go? What am I looking at? Player interactive. Oh, Jesus. It's that fucking, let's temporarily open the file. Let's temporarily open it. And then, like, I hate that. I hate that feature. Whatever fucking intern came up with that idea and somehow managed to talk Microsoft into implementing it into their IDEs, they need to be slapped. That person needs to be slapped with that temporary open text file bullshit. Oh God, I hate it so much. Okay, all right. So let me see. Inventory. The old code uses game object state, not the canvas state like I did. Well, but the thing that's confusing me is oh wait, no, it's not the codex. I'm pretty sure you used the inventory container. Yeah, that's a copy. So, okay, so I have the canvas disabled here. Let me make sure the canvas is set up. Oh, wait a minute. I should go back to the other one. Do it the other way. It is set up. Canvas is indeed set up, and canvas there is indeed disabled. So that is, or would it be that one? Would it be this? No. Wait a minute. Is active is controlled by this right here. I am confused. This was a path. I wanted to start on the big input refactor, and then I got sidetracked with the inventory dialogue, thinking, oh yeah, we can just knock this out in 10 minutes. But it's taking a little longer. That's right. 10 minutes is often 45. That's fine. It's nothing wrong with it. It's what happens. But yeah, waking up at like 4 o'clock or getting out of bed at 4 o'clock just completely just ruined my, like the time, this time change is horrible. The old is active also checks game object state instead of canvas. Just change that. Well, let me see. Okay, let me see. Did I attach? No, this is, it's only checking the canvas. It's not checking dialogue state unless, no, it's not checking. All right, let me see. I'm gonna press I. Let me add a watch just because I like that. This is the one feature that I mean, well, there's several features I like in Visual Studio, but this is the one I miss the most when I don't use it. So see here, is active, true. But okay, instant is active. That's coming with this, which is inventory dialogue, which is this. Oh, wait a minute. No, that, which is the canvas. Enabled true. Well, I don't know why it's true, but let's force it. Let's just see if it's going to work like this. Still didn't work. Oh, you still have both inventory dialogue active. It's single, so only one should be alive. What are you talking about? I have this one active. I mean, no. What are you talking about? I have this, which looks at this, which is looking at this, which is that canvas. I navigate to is active. It's right here on the right-hand side. Inventory dialogue enabled, but is enabled active. See, this is what's confusing me. Is this object the whole thing, or is it this particular canvas, right? Because you got a canvas within a canvas within a canvas. This is why I think, honestly, I think properly naming things is important. Inventory canvas, because now what we can do here's what we're going to do. We're going to rerun it, and we're going to look at the name of this inventory dialog object. So you can't name the components, or can you? What's happening? Okay, let me see. Right? So we looked here to inventory dialog that is named canvas. Really? So that's just the canvas state. Your previous code was repulled from game modify state. I don't remember. I think what's happening. Let me look at the components here. Base. Yeah, honey. 10:30. All right, well, here, I'll send you what I want just in case. You're taking Mulan? All right. My wife is going to head out to run some errand. I feel like she's confused by the time change more than anybody, because she's just the things she says. I don't think she realizes that we're like back an hour. Women. Okay. Anyway, wait. I'm going to send her what I want. McGriddle, sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle sandwich meal with extra hash brown. All right, that's what I want from McDonald's. Now you guys know what a piggy I am. Okay. So this is canvas, which I think is the component level. But what I want is the canvas within the canvas. Whoa, wait a minute. I renamed. Whoa, wait a minute. Back up here. Where the hell are we? Where's inventory dialog? Oh, my stars and garters. Where did inventory dialog go? Well, now I doesn't work at all. Or, oh wait, it's because I'm not attached. Okay. Back up, Addy. It's right here. Inventory dialog, which has what I think is happening, although it doesn't quite make sense. I thought enabled was not looking at this canvas down here, but now I think it is. Which makes it like, I wish you could modified component. Yeah, there's no way to rename it, unfortunately. Okay. I'm very confused as to what's happening here. KS says, I suggest using an array in your inventory has a limit since the list won't print all the length. No, I mean, well, once I get the inventory dialog working, I'll show you what we have. But I'm still confused as to why it's not popping up. It doesn't make any sense to me. Inventory canvas. I'm just kind of like staring at it, like it's going to come to me, but I don't. It still says that this is in it. Well, okay. I wish you could name this, but I guess we can look at. Let's do this. Let's do sort order 45. And the reason I'm going to do sort order 45 is because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if this is the thing that my mouse is over top of now, this canvas component. I'm trying to see if that is what it is checking to see if it is enabled or not. So that's why I'm just going to set sort order to 45 so that when we break into it, we can look. We only need one inventory instance, and we'll get confused between them as it's, oh, it is a singleton. Oh, that's a good point. It is a singleton. In that case, I forgot about that. That is correct. It is a singleton. So let's do this. This is why we have source code. Source control. We can always bring it back. All right. So let's try that. Okay, so we just deleted the whole thing. So we just nuked it. We nuked the instance inside of the codex. So let's try this. Let's see if it automatically works like that. I didn't even think about that. I don't think it's going to work. Well, maybe it will. Okay, let's see. It didn't work. It did more. I think it actually got past this if statement because the cursor disappeared. That might have some. I wonder if it's not showing because I changed the sort order to 45. But let's see. Did I attach? Oh, I didn't attach. Okay. Let's see. Remove the inventory completely from the codex if it's going to be... well, I will. I mean, I thought I did, but I got to go in there and see what other instances it's used at, I guess. Okay, so it is... Okay, so now it is getting past this, and it's actually going to show inventory. Now the question is, why is it not showing it? So let's look at the codex and see what... Okay, so we have a script here. Inventory, okay, inventory UI, open codex overlay. This is for M. This is for M. So I don't think this is gonna, we'll have to come back and, oh my God. I really wanted to do the input today, but now at this rate, I don't know if it's gonna happen. Okay. I'm saying BS, by the way, just trying to help. No worries, KS. I appreciate the help. What's this? Okay, this is telling me something else is wrong. There's problems everywhere. Show inventory. Okay, so the inventory UI does not have a lot of it doesn't have a lot of references. But something is really bad. So let's do this. Let's just start the debugger, and then when I start the game, it hopefully will just it'll hopefully break on the first exception. Ah, crap. I have an opportunity to do something. I should do something. I'm going to do this. Okay, press I. Okay, that's a little bit better though. I wonder if it's just simply not enabling the canvas, right? If it's just not enabling this object. So let's try this. Let's enable it. Oh, wait, now that's going to break it. I wonder if show inventory is broken. The show inventory function that actually shows the inventory, it's probably just not working correctly. But we'll look in a second. Yeah. Okay, this is the game, guys. The game is now just the inventory window. Okay, so I suspect it has to do with what show inventory is doing. Let me look. So show inventory is, what is it doing? It's doing some state stuff. See, this is the input manager. This is what I wanted to work on today. It's deleting any old things. It's going through. It's doing this. Ah, here we go. There we go. Right there. That looked like the issue right there. All right. I think it's enabling the object instead of the can. So it looks like the inventory dialog.enabled equals true was commented out. I'm sure that was probably because of the codex changes. So let's try it now. And then if this is okay. Hold on a second. I need to do something over here off screen for a second, guys. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, well, okay, it's breaking over here. Forgot to, oh my gosh, come on, come on. Okay, where'd the mouse go? Oh God, the mouse gets, okay, because what happens is, since you're debugging, paint messages stop getting sent to Unity, so the mouse never gets rendered on top of it, so it looks like the mouse has disappeared. Anyway, okay, to this. Okay, ready and go. Okay, that is good. That is good. I mean, it's, you know, it requires a little fixing, but it is good. Set visible. Were you right? You were right in spirit. So basically, what was happening was when you press I, what ultimately happens is this show inventory function gets called. And then that's this function here. This line right here where it says inventory.dialog enabled equals true, that was commented out, so that was never happening. So that was the issue. Well, that was one of the issues. That's why it wasn't showing. So what we need to do now is just kind of size it up and then make sure you can close it, essentially. And then we'll start the great refactor. I think this is the other thing. I'm just going to comment it in right now because that's going to allow us to close the dialogue. And then let's go and see about resizing it. So Matthew said we can just, come on, Unity. In spirit. Well, he was right in spirit, right? I mean, like, the problem was that it wasn't enabled and it wasn't visible. Enabled, visible, kind of the same thing in this instance. And so it wasn't. And that's why, so he was right. Okay. Alrighty. So what Matthew was saying, I think, is to set the anchor. So right now it's bottom left. I fucking hate this anchor bullshit. Okay, let's just stop. Let's just stop for a second. Okay, let's put the sort order back to 0 before that causes an issue. And then where do I set the size? Is it this? No. Scale with the parent size, reference resolution. Okay. Where do I set the size of the goddamn thing itself? Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Inventory dialog. Ah, here we go. Okay, there we go. So let's just do 640. No, why would that set the size? No, that doesn't set the size. Why would the width and height actually set the size of the thing of which it's the width and height? Like, well, that's ridiculous to even think that would work. It's ridiculous to even think that's how that works. Well, how the fuck does this work? Like, okay. I fucking hate UI and Unity. It is like, if you select a central anchor point, it'll stop stretching to the entire canvas and the inputs. Okay, why would it do that? Like, why? Explain that to me. Like, why does the anchor? Okay. Oh my fucking God. There, I said it. Wait, did I? No. Wait. Oh my fucking God. I'm literally trying to click look. Oh my fucking God. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is so fucking awful. Oh my God. I fucking hate Unity UI. Oh my fucking God. Do it on the container. Oh, yeah. Do it on the container. Okay. All right. Okay. Why wouldn't it work? Okay. Whatever. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking you. You know what I did like when I was messing around with, which I didn't hate, which actually made sense? The UI document. And I think I might start using those because that actually looked nice. That actually looked nice and it made sense. This bullshit, this is a fucking nightmare. Oh my God. Okay. All right, let's calm down. Okay. All right, we got this. Let's calm down. The container contains. Oh, but the canvas. Oh my God. Okay, whatever. What kind of object is the container? Is it a canvas? Like, what is it? Is it just a plain game object? Like, that's another thing I don't like about Unity in general. Like, how do you know what the fucking, like, if I go here and then I go to, I don't know, like, if I go to, let's see, 3D quad, okay? Just put a quad there. It's named quad, but if I name it like, something you will never know what I am, right? And then, okay, so that's what it is. Like, it's like, oh, you got to look at the context. Like, why doesn't it just say underneath quad? Like, why can't it say that? Oh, God, this is terrible. I fucking hate Unity. Well, why would you have a container in a canvas? Like, why? Okay, whatever. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get back on track. Let's just calm down. Let's just calm down for a second. Let's just get back on track, okay? What is the golden ratio of 960? Let's do that. Let's see. 960 times, what is it? 6, 7, 18888. Okay, it's about 640. That makes sense. Okay, 640. Okay. The canvas just separates screen size, basically, and the canvas will contain all your UI elements. We add sub UI elements. Well, yeah, I know how. Okay. I fucking hate Unity's UI element. Unity's UI system is fucking awful. It's awful. I hate it. It is terrible. I've used lots of UI tools in my time. Lots of UI. I understand you design put the buttons in the button container and things like I get that. This is a fucking nightmare. Like trying to size anything, it's like those. You remember, like back in like the early. You guys might not remember, probably don't. But back in like the early 2000s, when like the internet was like web developers were making like all the money in the world because only a few people knew. They came out with all these WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Kind of these WYSIWYG UI development tools for HTML and CSS and everything, and they were fucking awful. They were awful because they were just like they were just terrible. They were terrible because it was just like it was like this nightmare of just shit within shit within shit, and then you just get a pile of shit. Like, it's fucking awful. Let's all calm down. It's fucking time change. It's really getting to me. Oh, all right. You are the reason they now have the web dev UI document system. It wasn't terrible. I didn't hate it. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this isn't bad. This makes sense to me. This bullshit, it's like a lot of features in Unity. Like I've said before, a lot of features in Unity are features that some like fresh out of college, 24-year-old female PM came up with, and she's like, I think game development, it's too hard, and I think if we did it this way, then more girls would write games. So we're going to do this. Like, why do you need to see the file extension in the project view? Like, that's just confusing. Why would you even need to see the file extension? So you know what? We're not even going to give you an option to show the file extension. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That's what it feels like 80% of Unity, that feels like how 80% of Unity was designed. And then you had like the programmers that were like, well, no, we really need to do it this way. No, that's too hard. You can't do it like that because we need more girls that code. And so we want it, no. And then the guys, they don't want to get accused of being a sexist or anything. So they're just like, okay, all right, well, it's your decision. We'll do it your way. Like, that's how Unity feels to me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's see if this works. I'm angry, boys. It was starting off as a nice, calm stream. This was starting off on, this is the additional information in this letter that wasn't in the first letter. All right, just give me a second. I'm doing something over here. I'm just trying to. Okay. And then I'm going to have to run downstairs for a couple of minutes. Let me see. Okay. All right. I only understand the girl part, but that's enough to be 100% with you. I'm telling you, that's how Unity was written. That's how Unity was designed. Like, oh, it's too hard. Girls can code too. Why do you need to even see the file extension? That's just sexist. And so they removed the file extensions because somehow file extensions were sexist. I don't know. Or like, it's like a penis of the file name. Why do you need to show the penis of the file name? That's gross. Ugh. Anyway, all right. Enough of saying things that are going to get me canceled. Okay, what do I need to do? Okay, I want to disable that so this is not shown in the IDE. Let's try this. Can you pause the whole game in the inventory so no one attacks you? No. So in use a global or like game. So no, you cannot. There's other ways to do pause. Okay, let me see. Okay. It does look like the inventory window where oh, I clicked equip and it didn't shut. I think probably some other code was commented out. Let me see. Oh, close dialogue there. That's oh, is the close button gone? I need to look again. Yeah, unequip button clicked. So I got that here. Okay, that might actually be the only instance. Let's just... So, yeah, I want to get to the refactor, but I just want to make sure that the inventory window works mostly how we expect it to work. So okay, so to the subject of pause, actually, where I started using the UI document was with pause. Was when because I want to come up with a pause where you just hit escape and then you have a basic menu that's just like main menu, settings, and exit, right? And I started doing that with UI's help, and UI suggested that I use UI documents, and then that's where I started using UI documents. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of nice. This actually makes sense. So I don't want to wait. Okay, cool. That works. I don't want to the inventory window. I don't want to pause the game on the inventory window or the codecs that we're going to work on eventually. I don't want to pause the game on those. I want there's like functionality, like when you're going to do functional things like hand something to an NPC or take something from an NPC or equip an item or things like tactical things related to the game. I want the game to continue functioning so that you have to think about, do I have time to do this, kind of, right? If you open up the inventory window to give an item to the NPC and it pauses the game, I don't know that I would call that cheating, But I would, it just seems like, because like the way I think about this is kind of like in real life. Like if you're like in kind of like some high stakes scenario, like everything doesn't stop because you're thinking about like, well, do I want to give my knife to this person or something like that, right? So that kind of thing. It's okay, but the subject should be visa. Okay, let me change this. Visa sponsorship. Okay, wait, Visa. Okay, all right. Give me 1 second. Thank you for taking the time to review this this letter, and for your consideration. Please don't hesitate me. Okay. All right. Let me. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. I'm distracted. I know I'm not paying attention to you guys. I know I'm neglecting you guys a little bit, and I'm gonna have to neglect you probably for like another 20 minutes or so. It's gonna be distracted attention, shared attention. Okay, so let me check this code in. I'm tempted to just check this directly into master. But of course, we are all aware of Addy's law, right? Addy's law. Wait. I got to get the actual wording down. Let me see. Addy's law, which states that any pull request merged without testing a feature it modifies will, with near certainty, contain a bug in that feature requiring a subsequent code change. So I'm a little concerned about Addy's law here, but at the same time, I kind of don't care. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just go to let's just do it, man. We're just going to commit right to master. Re-enabling the inventory window, real min commit to master. There we go. All right, here we go. Ready? All right, so obviously now that I've hit the commit button, there will be 100 bugs. All right, so. All right, I'm waiting. Okay, the person I'm over here distracted. Addy's law, the art of not caring about the consequences. Of course I care about those. Of course I care about the consequences. I'm not a woman. Of course I care about the consequences. Okay. I understand. And I understand that my actions have consequences, and I take accountability for my actions. Again, I am not a woman. Okay, I got to stop with the sexism. There's just a lot of misogyny going on here today, and honestly, I blame KS. This is just KS's fault. Like, if you ask me, like, KS is here, so I'm like trying to like show off for him, her. I don't know, it, them, they. I'm trying to show off for KS, and so it's just like, okay, well, wait a minute, like, all right. Calm down for a second, Addy. Okie dokie. Now, how do we want to do this? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to start off by, I wanted to start off by kind of typing out how I envision this. This is particularly tricky because I'm trying to find an example. Yeah. So here's an example. I mean, this input.getKey, like this shit. I would like to, if possible, avoid having to basically I don't want to get into a situation where I'm looking at pull requests, right? And then somebody uses input.getKey, key code C or whatever. And then I have to say, oh, you can't use that. You have to use the input manager. And you see what I mean? And so it would be easy to do this if you kind of just had, like if I said, no, you can't do that. You got to kind of do something like input manager.instance.input.get, whatever it is, right? I don't want to get into that pattern. Somehow I would still like to do this where you can use input.getKey. I'm just not sure there is a pattern that will allow you to. I'm just not sure that in support of the claims, I have asked Ms. Frank to attach photos from my passport. Oh my God. Oh my God. This person, I'm just getting driven. Like I'm getting it from all over the place right now. In support of the claims. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Okay. What's going on over here, this is going to be done in about 20 minutes, and then I can give you guys my undivided attention. Right now, it's very divided. I'm an Addy divided, is what it is. So do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to like you can run into trouble when you start getting into these idioms where you're enforcing where you're enforcing abnormal actions on normal things like this. This is a normal thing, and forcing some abnormal idiom on a normal thing is just asking for problems, in my opinion. All right, let me see. This is going to take me like 20 or 30 minutes, guys, to take care of this. What's going on over here? Actually, it should take me about 15 to 20 minutes. So I am going to step away for about 15 to 20. Let me wait for this person's response. You guys can think about what you did. This is all on you, Matthew, Mr. Matthew. I have attached my stamps. Is crouching only a camera effect, or does it actually lower your height? I honestly, I forgot how I implemented it. How did I implement it? That was one of the first, like you can see, this was implemented like not sure implemented it. This was 6 months ago. That's a good question though. It looks like it actually is crouching the object. I'm not sure what controller is. Character controller. No, it's an excellent question. Height transform dot position. I'm wondering if the capsule actually is just kind of in the ground. Okay. All right. Let me go do this. I will be back. I apologize. I'll be back. I'm going to put on an Addy Goes Places video for you guys. Or should I put on no, I'm going to put on one of my travel channel videos. I really need to pay some attention to that channel. I haven't paid any attention to that channel in like a while. Yeah. See, it's been almost 2 months since my last video. Let's go to one of my more popular videos, which is here in, let's see, that's 48 minutes. That should be plenty of time. All right. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. Good morning. It is Sunday, June 30th, 2024. I am sitting at in an airport lounge in Gaborone, Botswana. Botswana, not Botswana. Botswana. Gaborone, Botswana. Right now, we are probably going to be boarding soon for the about 1 hour and 30-minute flight up to Harare in Zimbabwe, where I'll be spending just the next 4 days. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time in Harare, but that is more or less going to be the last stop on this entire African trip. I'm trying to remember what I was thinking when I planned the trip to Harare and only gave myself like 4 or 5 days, but I have to be back in Cape Town on the 6th, I think. So I'm actually going back on the 5th because I fly to Sao Paulo, Brazil on the 6th. So anyway, I'll leave Harare on the 5th, arrive in Cape Town, spend 1 night in Cape Town, and then cross the Atlantic on the southern side, which I've never done before, and then go to Brazil. Heading to Zimbabwe. We are about a half hour from landing in Harare. Relatively uneventful flight. This plane actually has ashtrays, so it tells you a little bit of how old it is. So there it is. There's the ashtray here. It's always a little unsettling to get on a plane that has ashtrays. One little factoid about being on a plane: when you're up in the air and you generally have no signal. One thing that's really interesting, though, is that your GPS still works. You can see, so we're in Zimbabwe, obviously, north of Bulawayo, and maybe, 20, 30 minutes from Harare, but the GPS, it's updating. And this works. It's worked. I realized this a few years ago when I started traveling, and it works all over the world. So you might not be able to get a cell signal, but the GPS, sometimes it takes a little while, but the GPS will tell you where you're at. Everything seems to be USD here, which is convenient. Okay, but might end up being more expensive. I don't know. But seems South Africa. Oh my God. I just had a terrifying experience here in Harare. It is Monday, July 1st, 2024. So it is my second day, first full day here in Harare in Zimbabwe. And I decided I was going to go on a walk.
right? Like I normally do. If you watch this channel, like I do 100 times. Well, I learned a lesson today. I learned a lesson that probably could have been a lot worse. I'm still shaking, and I'm scared to even like talk about it while I'm still in the country. But I was recording video, and like I normally do, and I was walking by the State House. Now, I kind of noticed that there were guards there, but there were no signs, right? There's usually signs that say no photography, no video, no things like that. And then a couple of soldiers, they call me over. And they're like, at first they're like really angry and aggressive. Like, what are you doing? Why are you recording? Why are you recording? What did you record? How much did you record? What did you record? Going on and on and on. And I'm like, oh my God, guy, like, I'm shitting my pants. Look at me. Do you think I belong in a Zimbabwean prison? Seriously, I don't even want to like talk about it right now in public. I don't even want to use my camera in public. I mean, I'm in a different part of town now. I ended up taking a taxi. Huh? No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I'm talking to myself. So the guards, they call me over and they're very aggressive and they're asking like, why are you recording? What are you recording? Blah, 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 blah. And they're super aggressive, super scary. They both have machine guns. Luckily, they had trigger safety discipline because they kept their fingers off the trigger at all times. But so they're talking to me and they're telling me there's this little like guard post that they tell me. They're like, go sit in the guard post, go sit down. No, and then I sit on a chair because I have chairs and they tell me to sit on the floor, so I sit on the floor. And then they're like, what were you doing? And I'm like explaining, like, well, I just
all right.
YouTube,
That did not take nearly as long as I thought it would.
Some of the city I did.
Took like 7 minutes. Yeah, no, this was a terrifying experience. Oh, that's a great face, a great place to pause. No, that was terrifying in Zimbabwe. My God. But, I would like to give Zimbabwe another chance. I'll say one thing about Zimbabwe. Well, one thing that I remember, one thing I kind of regret is I do this thing where when I travel, I get tattooed. That's what all these different tattoos are. And so the guy who tattooed me in Zimbabwe, there's not tattoo shops in Zimbabwe, right? There's not like a store that no, continue. Damn, I was getting into the guard store. Okay, do you want me to continue it? I can continue. I can go back. But one thing I regret about Zimbabwe is the guy who tattooed me, he invited me over. He was like, yeah, I'm having some boys over. It's just going to be the boys, just kind of, we're grilling. And he was like, you want to come over and, to grill? And I'm like, fuck yeah. And he's like, yeah, we're cooking. I have no idea what it was called. I forget what it was called. But it was basically cow tongue. Or was it cow's feet? I don't remember if it was cow tongue or cow's feet. I remember he told me and I was like, yeah, I would love to. And unfortunately, he didn't text me until like 9 o'clock that night. And if you know me, I'm in bed at 9 o'clock that night. So I didn't go. And I kind of regret not going. But since that, I've always, like, when a local has invited me to anything, I've always said yes. Like it happened when I was in St. Helena. It happened in Zambia. So anyway, damn, I was getting it. So the guard story, yeah, no, well, you'll have to go watch the video. You'll have to, you know what? I'll just go to Addy Goes Places. Look, there's only one video in Zimbabwe because the experience with the guards freaked me out. So I was planning to stay in Zimbabwe for, I think, 5 nights. And the experience with the guards freaked me out so much that I was like, I have to get out of this country. I was terrified. I was like, no, I do not want to end up in a Zimbabwean prison. But if you go to, you know what, I'll send you a link so you can go and you can watch on your own time. Addy Goes Places. That's actually one of my more popular videos. Copy link address. I'll just, oh shit, I can't. God damn it. I have to go here. But if you go, okay, yeah, no, thank you. There we go. All right. Okay. So there's the video if you want to watch it. Okay. So let's get back to where we were. Why is this? Oh, okay. Yeah. wait. Somebody sent me this. This looks relevant to what we're talking about. Okay, let me refresh.
Follows the same rule. The first 2,000 lines, it doesn't matter whether you hand write it or you vibe code it, it's all the same. If your project's only 2,000 lines of code, it's easy. But once it starts growing, once it gets past that, something kind of magical happens. And at 10,000 lines is where the maximum magic is. And what is that magic, of course? It's the y-axis, which is regret. You regret every single decision you made during these first 2,000 lines when life was good and coding was easy. Every single software project.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay. And speaking of that, what we're gonna do, we're doing it now. The great input refactor begins now. Now, boys, now. Unless I get another message, but on this thing over here. But I think this thing over here is now taken care of. Okay, so going back to what I was talking about, I want to avoid having to have people like, oh, you can't use input, but I don't really see a way around it unless we hijack this, which I'm not even sure how we could do. I mean, I guess we could. I mean, I'm sure we could figure out some way to do it, but that doesn't even feel like a good idea. So I did talk to AI a little bit. Like I was poking around AI, trying to see how bigger projects do it. And they basically just do what I want to avoid, is what it sounds like. Input they just have a lot of like input manager, input stuff. Context. Okay, that's just what I asked it. Let me see. What did... Yeah, so basically, it basically comes down to custom input handlers, custom input actions, which I really don't want to do. I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. Okay, so... Okay, this is kind of like where, okay, a little stuck here. So let's just kind of move forward. So we would have the boat driver class, okay? This is not production code, okay? This is not production code. What I am typing is not production code. Matthew, it's not production code. This is just me just kind of like, you know, did I tell you the story about how one of the guys on my team, I had him interview somebody for a position, and the guy on my team was like, "Oh, well, he jumped right into coding, and he didn't fully understand the problem, and he jumped right into coding." And it's like, not even. And then it was funny because we were talking about like, so I remember, yeah, I did tell you guys about this, and I remember telling you guys that the person I'm talking about really, really loves graphs. And so we were talking, like, this was on Friday, we were talking about some other thing, not related. And he's like, this is what I had in mind. And what does he do? He sends me a graph, which is fine, because he loves graphs. But it was just like, when he tells me, he's like, well, the candidate really didn't fully understand the problem. He prematurely jumped into coding. And I'm like, not everybody thinks like you, dude. I'm still pissed off about that. Okay. So let's see. How would I want to do this? Okay, let me just draw out a couple of examples. Let's see. We have this. We would have that. We would have a inventory dialog, which would also have its own update. And then let's throw a third one in there for what's another instance? The codex dialog, right? And so what I am doing basically is just trying to draw like a map of our code, like trying to draw just kind of a very simplistic view of everything from a high level to kind of see how we would want to do this, right? So like when we're driving the boat, and let's do this other one, right? Let's do one. Yeah, FPS movement update. That's fine. Even though we're not quite using it like that, it's good to have it there just kind of as like a reference to so we don't forget about it. So ideally, how would we do this? That is the question, right? Ideally, how would we do this? So ideally, we would have an input manager class. This would be like, see, here's the question. Like, even the AI is really pushing me towards this, right? And this is what I was talking about. I don't know why it's called an instance. This is really what the AI is driving me towards. Input manager.instance.input.keydown, which well, ideally, so let's draw out our ideal scenario, right? Ideally, it would just do like this. I like key code X, whatever. It's going to do whatever. Maybe we have a shortcut here where like R, shortcut to. I'm just putting samples there to try and like just kind of like get our mind thinking or try to get my mind thinking about like real world examples of what's happening inside of these individual classes. So maybe this is a shortcut to equip first item in list. Boat driver, right? Maybe we have W for, no, I was going to go to honk horn. That's what I was going to do. Honk horn. And then maybe up here we would have if input get key down C for crouching. Okay, and actually that's exactly what I wanted to think about. That's exactly what I was going to do, was crouching. All right. And then somehow, now one thing that the AI did do is it did have like a nice little segmentation of the input types. So let's see here. So like this, input context, gameplay, UI, cutscene, paused. But even gameplay is not quite enough, right? Because gameplay, W in one portion of gameplay might be walking forward, but W in another portion might be driving the boat forward. So, like W, I don't know, move boat forward. Public interface. What is it? Param args is unlimited param. Yeah. Okay, this thing over here. Yeah, yes. Sorry, this thing over here is driving me nuts again. Okay. All right. This thing over here might still be distracted. Might be a distraction for a couple more minutes. Hopefully not too much longer. Okay. So this is kind of where we're at. So what was that? Key code. What is this? Key code for inventory. What, Matthew? I mean, we might have to do something like this, right? We might have to, God damn it, I really don't want to, right? like input manager, and since it's going to be a singleton, this is another thing that doesn't drive me crazy. I'm not crazy about is this whole input manager instance. And yes, I know you can cache it in the, I know. And honestly, you probably want it to be like that. That is the quote unquote easiest way from a high level, right? That's the easiest way. And then you would have, and then the state, that does have a little problem though, because now input manager has to know where you're at all times. Well, it doesn't necessarily need to know where you're at. No, it does. Because think of a scenario where you have a dialogue open and then you open up another dialogue on top of it. I'm not saying that would even be an option, but my way is easier, I think. What is your way? I'm not understanding your way. Public interface, iUpdatable. No, I'm not understanding your pattern, KS. I'm not saying it's not easier. It very well may be easier. I'm just not understanding what you're getting at. Is there a way? I'm trying to think of a way we can hijack this. That's ugly. And that's also dangerous. But yeah. No, I don't want to hijack it, because hijacking it, that means you're hiding it, and then that can get really confusing, and that can just lead to problems. That just leads to more problems. Okay, so let's say we did go down this route. I'm not even a big fan of that, man. How the fuck do other projects do this? That's what I would like to know. You didn't proofread the letter, did you? We sincerely request that soonish migration. Oh my god. Oh my god. The thing over here. Oh my god. Can't say. Signed an NDA. So with get key down, you will always need to do that. And with it, you link a method you need in the interface. You'll either make default methods in the interface or you declare your method in the object. I'm not following. Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to step away again. Sincerely request and oh my god, this is starting to piss me off. I'm trying to do something nice for somebody and it's starting to piss me off a little bit. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna have to step away for a second. I'm just waiting for somebody to proofread something, and then I'm gonna have to go do everything I just did yet again. I'm losing patience. I'm losing patience, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Can I print from here? I can't even. Can I print from here? No, I can't print from here. I gotta go downstairs. All right. So what are you saying, KS? I'm trying to like. I mean. updatable. All the methods that need to update shouldn't be written directly into the update method. Instead, you create an interface that defines them, and each class implements that interface. But that's what this is. That's what this is. I'm not understanding your pattern. Like that's literally what this is. I mean, you're describing what we have here on the screen on the right-hand side. I mean, but it's not using the interface. It's just using the update method. But it's essentially the same thing. The problem is you need some type of central coordinator that knows the state. So think about like if this dialog was up, right? Like so, key code escape. Let's just do this to close this. And then, so basically you would have the same thing here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not able to get my head around it either. Like, it sounds like what you're describing is what's on the screen kind of already. So part of the issue is this. So every object here that I'm highlighting, so there's 4 objects. Well, there's actually 5. But we'll ignore input manager for now. These 4 objects are classes, but the instantiation of them will be objects. FPS movement, boat driver, inventory dialog, and codex dialog. This update method gets called on each one. So think of a situation. Imagine a situation. Just say something I said request that you would almost. Oh my fucking god! This is the request. Okay. Sorry, this is still here. So what I was getting at, imagine that the inventory dialog is up. Now, I am not saying we will have an instance where the 2 dialogues are up at the same time, but the issue that I'm about to describe by using that example will happen. But it's just easier to imagine it by the way I'm about to describe it. So imagine that the inventory dialog is up, right? Now imagine that the codex dialog is up as well. So now you have the inventory dialog and you have the codex dialog. What's the issue is both of them are calling this update message on every frame. So if you hit escape, both of them are going to close, but obviously only the one that has focus should close, right? Because, you know, just think about like any Windows type operating system. If you have multiple dialogues open, you hit escape, only the one that has focus closes. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, then you have the focus and you pass the message, blah, 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 blah. Yes, you're right. I get that. But this is a little different. I mean, I don't want to go, I'm not sure that like the concept of, well, does it? I was going to say, I don't know. I'm not sure if the concept of focus actually makes sense, but maybe it does. But maybe instead of Windows having focus, it could be the dialogue has focus. No, but then you still need something to actually pass the message down. Yes, you use a manager update exactly the same, 100%, but you do not have to stick to only one. You can have multiple. I'm not following where you're going. I'm not following. Okay. Okay. This is the last time I'm doing this thing for this person. I'm like trying to do something nice and they're driving me kind of crazy with all the little kind of like idiosyncrasies and like little like, oh, can you put a period here and a colon there and you gotta have a semicolon here? Like it's driving me fucking crazy, especially that I'm already getting driven crazy by this. All right. Like everything's just driving me nuts. I wanted to have a nice relaxing stream and that's not what's happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. Okay. I'm going to relax. Let me go do this one more time. All right, I'm going to put the video, you guys can get into the, let's see, I think it was at about 6:50 or so when,
Didn't realize that this was
okay. So I'll continue with this story. All right. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
a sensitive area, and they're like, what, but I don't understand. Where do you come from? Where do you come from? And so I tell them, you know, like, I'm from America. I came from Botswana yesterday. I've been traveling through Africa. What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? Like, they're just asking me the same thing over and over and over. So finally, after 10, 15 minutes, they're like, you know, they're sitting me down, and they've gone on their walkie-talkie, and they're like, somebody's coming, somebody's going to come, they're going to take your information, they're going to talk to you and ask you some questions. And I'm like, okay. And then my first time ever having to bribe somebody, they tell me, they're like, if you would like to give us a gift, we can make this much easier if you just would like to give us a gift. And I'm like, okay, much easier, just give us a gift, much easier. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the gift? Like, I mean, and then, like, I happen to have $50 in my pocket, thank God. So I left them 40, and then they're like, okay, here's the story. You were on the phone, we called you over, there was a misunderstanding, we thought you were taking pictures, and there was a misunderstanding, that's it. I'm like, okay, all right, so now I'm having to lie to, I'm terrified just like talking about this. I'm thinking about leaving the country tomorrow and going to South Africa and just spending the rest of the week in Cape Town. So they're like, yeah, just, you know, if you want to give us a gift, if you would like to do that, that's the story. Just keep the story and never mention this gift. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, no. So these other guys come, these mean-looking guys, these like slightly older and obviously more senior soldiers come, and they're like, you know, what are you doing? What happened? And I'm like, I was on the phone. They thought I was taking pictures. Oh, okay. Where were you coming from? What were you doing? I was like, I was just going on a walk. I just got to town yesterday. I was exploring. The idea of going on a walk seems foreign. I don't know, but they seem to think I was lying, even though I literally was just going on a walk. So they're like, what are you doing? The new soldiers, the more senior soldiers, what are you doing right there? And I'm like, and the first soldiers, the younger soldiers, they're still there also. And I'm asking, I'm like, am I in trouble? And they're like, no, don't worry. And I'm just being frank with them. I'm like, I'm terrified. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm terrified. They're like, no, it's okay. So then they finally take me over to, we start walking along this road alongside, and they're asking me questions like, where are you from? Where are you staying? How long are you here? Are you by yourself? Things like that. Oh God. And then, Jesus Christ. And then we go in and meet this man and this woman that are there, and then they take my ID. Luckily, thank God, I had my ID with me, not my passport. So in the U.S., you can get these passport cards that are technically only valid for like land travel, and between Canada and Mexico, they're only valid for like land and cruises and things like that. But I carried it around with me anyway. Thank God I did. So they took that information. They asked me some questions, and I'm like asking her, like, am I in trouble? Am I like in trouble? Like, really? Thank God. And then, so they just took my information, and they held me for about a half hour. And then, you know, the one guy, one of the guys, who's an older guy, it was like every time I saw somebody new, it was like a progressively older person who was probably more senior. I mean, makes sense. And so then he was like, just so you know, no phones, no cameras, be very careful in this area about using your phone, just don't even take pictures, don't even take video, don't do any of that in this area. And I'm like, yes, sir, you got it. You absolutely got it. And then they let me go. Oh my God. Terrifying experience. Absolutely terrifying. Because I'm sitting here and like, so then I caught a cab here to have, so I just more or less emotionally unloaded on the cab driver. And was like, oh my God, I got stopped by these guys. And I was like, I told him, I was like, I think I was going to go, I thought I was going to go to a jail in Zimbabwe. And he's like, no, those guys won't send you to jail. They'll just beat you. Okay. But luckily, I managed to get out of there, and the only thing that I lost was $40. But if you ask me, that was probably $40 well spent. And it was a $40 lesson, so lesson learned. Double check of where you're recording before you start recording in foreign countries.
Yes, sir. Do check that. Do check that.
So,
Okay. All right. I got McDonald's. Oh, wow. Look at this. I told my wife, I said, okay, I want the meal with an extra hash brown, which equals 2 hash browns. Well, check this out. I reach into the bag. Oh, she got me a McMuffin. God damn it. It's fine. It's fine. Because we got this. We got this. And we got this. We got 3 hash browns. Well, I'm going to be a little bit of a piggy boy. Okay. The input manager purpose. Let's go back to my example. Here's the purpose of the input manager. Let's say we went this route, right? Let's say we went the input manager.instance. Like, I hate that, but let's just say we did it. It might end up being the only thing we're able to do, really. I'm not 100% sure. But this is the input manager. The input manager would be a singleton. So the input manager would know, right? Because there would be in here in the update method, you would have something like if key down, I mean, F1, fine. We'll just call it that. Let's do codecs open, right? And then else if input key down. Okay, this is perfect. This is just for illustrative purposes, to show the pattern. So we would have the input manager would be responsible for basically opening the dialogues. What this allows for a couple of things. So if you open up the codecs dialog, let's say you press F1 to open up the codecs dialog. Now the input manager can say, oh, he pressed F2 if the codecs dialog is not open, or something like this. Okay, like the AI said, if it's open, then close it. That's stupid. But basically, the input manager is a one-stop shop for input, and it would know the state of what things are in. So you could have code that says, "Oh, he opened up the codecs dialog. Now he's pushing the key to open up the inventory dialog, but the codecs dialog is not closed yet. So I don't want to do that. I want to ignore that." Kind of like if we go back to, and that's actually probably a better illustrative example than what I originally said if the codecs dialog and the inventory dialog were both open at the same time. Although it's a very similar case. Basically, the input manager would know the state of everything. I don't know, Matthew. How are you doing it, Matthew? Like, you've written a couple of games. How do you do it? Are you using something just like an input manager singleton, or? I think we're going to have to do that. I'm not crazy about this. I'm really not crazy about that. Shit. Fuck. I'm not crazy about it at all. What if you need to check which state you're in, since the same input can do different things in each state? Exactly. Right, so the enum would be in here. Right? You would have some kind of like... Sorry for talking with my mouth full, but... I don't know. Focused... Focused area. We'll call it that. We'll call it, gameplay. But that even comes with issues. Right? And then you would have something like focused area, yeah, equals gameplay. And then here's your state, right? Here's your state that basically tracks where you're at in the game. So you would do something like, yeah, focused area and focused area inventory. And now you can do things like if, like maybe the only time, and it probably makes sense, the only time the player would be able to open up the codex dialogue is if they're in the gameplay, right? So if current focused area is not equal to gameplay, return. Is not equal to gameplay. Right? Like that. So that's basically how you control state. So I forget what I did in PolySky. Probably something shoddy, some shoddy if statement. Yeah, the if statements can get, the if statements start to break down very quickly. In Space Nomads, I made a managed UI singleton that adds UI canvases to a stack. It's a bit more bespoke. Not sure if it would suit. The player should give the enum method route to input manager. Okay, wait a minute. I have an idea that might be KS's idea, admittedly. But I gotta think it out. Okay, is there a way... Is there a way to get the key code? Well, wait a minute. So this is like get key down. Is there a way to get all the keys that are down? Let me see. Input. That might not work. So I'm looking for a function that's kind of like, I don't know what this thing is yet, but this is kind of what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking like update. Keys pressed. But see, I don't necessarily want to say, oh, if it's this key. I want a list, like I want to be able to do something like for each, every key that's down, and like print out like all these keys are pressed. The player has the state, not the input manager. Okay, I mean, not really actually. I would say the input manager should have the state. You use the enum to route to which state you're in. The private API method stores the line. So that's why I think I'm starting to see what you're getting at, but I'm not sure. Input handler, input Because what I'm kind of getting at is let me see, input handler, process input. So I don't think the player should have the state. It should be something bigger than the player, because the player is part of the state. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting at, but I'm coming around to something. Wait a minute. So each one of these I gotta check the thing. Okay, so this might be KS's idea that I'm thinking of, but just worded differently. So KS, if I'm just repeating what you're thinking, I apologize. I'm not trying to pass it off as my own. What I'm thinking is I'm thinking that each, okay, fair enough. I'm still trying to find a way to use one method for all states instead of having 5 states and 5 switch statements. Well, no. You would not. No. Even what I was suggesting wouldn't have 5 switch statements. Well, I guess it would with the key. Well, okay. Well, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. What I'm thinking, let's see. I still don't have the complete idea, so I'm going to kind of talk it out and kind of think about it. So each thing that needs to react to input. Each thing that needs to react to input would have to register itself with the input manager. It would basically be some type of input manager. Like, I don't, God damn it. No, that idea is not complete. I think I see what you're getting at, KS. It's like some type of like, maybe not. I think this is part of the key. Like, you would have each thing that needs input will have this. Each thing that is doing like a get key in update will now have this. Then there would be either some overridable or some handle function, which would kind of be this. And this is where you would do... Okay, wait a minute. It's coming. This is where you would actually do the input, right? So you would do, if you don't even need that at this point, you would just do if input, get key code, move forward, right? And the state is handled here. The state is still handled in Input Manager, but Input Manager now says, okay, this thing, okay. I think I got it. Piggy boy here. All right. Let me do this with, let's start with the simple examples. Let's start with the inventory dialog and the codex dialog. Those are the two easy ones. We'll assume that one cannot be open, only one can be open at a time. So each one has a private, like a private input handler. Yeah, input manager is a router. Yes. I think I see what you're saying now. Handle input. This is actually just this, right? So you can still use your input. The only requirement is you can't have input inside of update. You have to have some function out otherwise. So basically it's going to look something like this. Okay, so then you have void awake. You would have some function here or some object still not sure what this is. Input handler. Yes, thank you, AI. And then basically like input handler dot my input handler equals this dot handle input. And then now this is where it gets tricky. So actually, okay, the enum is here. The enum's an input manager. So now you could say input manager dot instance register input handler, which would be the object input handler. I guess it could also be a function, but we'll just keep it an object for now. And then it would be input manager. Yes. So that's kind of what I was going with. So input manager instance register input handler, and then you pass it the function, and then the actual enum. What the hell is what is the AI trying to do? Did it change anything? My input handler, input manager instance register input handler. Okay. And then in update, you basically just call yes, input handler process input. Now in here, it's in the codex dialog, it's more or less the same thing. The only difference is this would be codex. Now down in here, okay, all right. So you basically have a dictionary of focused area. Still not sure what this is. Input handlers. Yes, the AI knows what I'm doing. So during awake, everything's registering itself. Now in update, you're kind of controlling what has focus when it doesn't, right? So if current focused area equals focused area gameplay return. And so then this would just simply be, no, you still need special code here. You guys don't need to see me stuff my face. Give me a minute. God damn it. A surprise for me on Discord in the live stream chat. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So the state is still kind of handled here, and you still need some like input key down stuff here to basically trigger state changes. So this is actually a good example. So the codex dialog is not going to be opened. I mean, I guess there's no harm in kind of just doing... The input manager is going to have intimate knowledge of the game. So dialog instance open, current focused area equals focused update. Wait a minute. How do I activate this? Fuck. Okay. All right. So this would do something like yes. No, not that. Not that. Not that. It would basically substitute in the functionality into the process input. Okay. How are we doing this? But how do you change? That's what how do you change the method per object? That's I don't think it's that difficult actually. I'm just trying to figure it out. So basically, I have this object process input. So. So this function where is it defined? Because basically okay, so it's defined in this class, still not sure what it is. So I guess we can start defining that class, right? So we need it's not going to be a big class. All right. Yeah, still not sure what this is. What was it? My input handler. It's a terrible name, but we're going to go with it for now. So basically, okay, here's what you do. You're getting the no, I don't want gameplay. I don't want the gameplay handler. Oh, I do want the gameplay handler because I want to null it out. But let's think about that in a second. Let's just do this handler. You're going to get the handler of the current focused area, which is the codex in this case. I'm just going to put that there for clarity. Right? And then handler dot my input handler. Ooh, wait a minute. I'm messing something up. So we store it off. Ooh, okay. I'm getting confused. That's the object itself. The object is going to be process input, the handler. Okay, I don't want to change the object. I want to change the function of the object. This feels wrong. Input handler. need a better name for this because it's throwing me off. It's going to stick with it now. Okay. All right. Let's back up for a second. Let's back up. Okay. Codex dialog. It's going to come through. It's going to declare one of these things, and it's going to register that thing with the input handler. The input handler is going to store that thing away. So that thing actually has this function here. I'm going to collapse some of this. Oh, I forgot. Yes, Visual Studio Code. We can send people to the moon. We can cure cancer in many cases, but God forbid we can actually collapse code in C#. Nope, we can't do that. Nope, we can't do that. All right. All right, my rant made me lose focus for a second. All right, so register the input handler. So we're registering that object up there. So actually handler dot my input, or let's see, I'm going to rename this just for my own sanity. I'm going to do process input handler. Wait, what? Process input handler. Okay. Damn it, I'm hitting Control S out of muscle memory. I keep doing that. So down here we have the object. So basically we would want, now we can say, wait. That's not right. My input handler. Does this make sense? Okay. The names help a little bit. Renaming things help a little bit. Okay. So we want to store the input handler in the object, and then we have an active input handler, which could be null at many times. Okay. So here in the codex dialog, for example, we would set stored input handler to this handle input function here. And then we register the whole object with the input manager. We have a dictionary of basically the focus area, which is the enum. And then we have the function that registers the function. Basically, we really don't need this register function. Whatever. It just populates it populates this dictionary. Now, when we want to basically activate a portion of it, we need to, the portion we want to activate, we want to set the process input handler to the stored input handler. This is what we want to do. And then, of course, so the previous one we want to deactivate, but we'll worry about deactivation in a minute. All right. So I think this might be what KS was getting at. I might have gotten there a different route, but I think this was kind of the same. I think this was the idea. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because it's a little like, you know, the thing within the thing. You're changing the thing within the thing. I mean, this could probably be done with like a function, right? Like handler set active or activate function input activate. Like really, maybe we'll do it that way. Maybe that's a little easier way to visualize it. Just with we'll do it with two functions to make it super clear. Activate input handler, which this is, no, we don't need this. We just want active input handler equals stored input handler. And then we would just basically have public void deactivate and active input handler equals null, right? So because process input is getting called in update. So basically we're just swapping out when certain ones are active. There is a problem here. There's a couple of problems. This does not, maybe it's not a problem. I was going to say it doesn't lend it to it doesn't allow us to kind of do a test for a key code up here, have some code, and do a test for another key code down here, right? So like that kind of like over here, there part, like that, like being able to have this basically assumes that all the input tests are done in one chunk of code. That's a restriction. Is that going to be a problem? I don't know. I do not know. I guess one way to get around that is you can have multiple of the. Like both of these could be like a list or something. No, because then you need multiple of these. Or you have multiple of these that tell you, okay, you know what? Let's solve that problem if we come to that problem. But I think this pattern will mostly work. Like this would be the, I don't know, this would be the input processor. I like that. All right. Why multiple? So the reason I was saying we might need multiple actions, it's like, because like I was just saying, there's no way to do a test for some key codes here and then do some code and then do a test for some key codes here. Do we need to do that? I don't know. I don't know offhand if we're doing it anywhere. I suspect we're probably not, which makes me optimistic that we probably don't have to. But I don't know. I'm just looking over here at the FPS movement. Oy. Okay, this is a big refactor. Okay, this is much bigger than I thought it would be. But I think this pattern in general will work, right? Okay, sorry. I'm just distracted over here again. Alrighty, so now input manager. What about input manager itself? So I guess this could just be a mono behavior that's attached to the player, I guess. We already have an input manager class. Right, so we have an input manager class we can kind of jimmy rig this into. There's something else though. There's something else I want to look at. I don't remember how we do this. So at one point, so let me show you. Like it's 4 p.m. Like I'm ready to go to bed. Can't you just set the lambda in the interface action so each object has its own method? Then you don't need a dictionary since all you need is the method, right? Oh, because you don't want it hard-coded. I mean, it sounds like you're suggesting we just... I'm not sure what you're suggesting. Like calling the code in here. Like, yeah, no, I'm not sure what you're suggesting. Okay. What the hell are you doing, Udity? Oh, Jesus. It's just sitting there. Okay. So the one thing that kind of concerns me is this. Oh, wait, actually, I don't even need to go to Green Guy. What am I talking about? Oh my God, did I get into a house? Okay. This is what concerns me. If we go here, this. And then like right now, if I hit I to say, like, if I want to call this thing, that's what happens. Oh, great. So, yeah. So you can't. So basically, just don't use the letter I. I guess we can't use the letter M either. No, can't use the letter M. Oh no, we can't close that dialogue. Oh wait, we gotta hit M again. Okay. I guess we can call this Bob. All right, Bob. We can call it Bob. I don't think we have rebaked. I don't think we've rebaked in a long time. Okay. Enter label name. I want to look for that, I think. Enter label name. No, why would it be found? I think it's a script attached to the player. I just don't remember what it's called. Map labeler. Okay. Enter script. Handle marking map. Show label name dialog. Yeah, so we instantiate a label dialog prefab, which probably has no code. Let me see. Map labeler. Yeah, it doesn't. How would we do that? How would it be I guess. Ugh. This gets gross. So, well, I guess actually maybe it's not that bad. Okay, so here we have the input manager doing a lot of the state management, right? Like the input manager is like, oh, he opened this thing, so he wants to close this thing. Oh, he opened this other thing, so he doesn't want to open this. You know, oh, this, but that's the input manager. Fuck. It's the input manager that's doing all that logic. I guess what we would need also is some way for a class to say, like here, when you have, we would have to have something that's like input manager. Oh man, this is so ugly. Like we'd have to say like input manager instance. Oh, something stole my fucking focus. Oh my God. Instance, I don't know, set process state or whatever it is. Basically, we would have to have some type of way to tell the input manager like, hey, we're doing regular text input now. Because the input manager is not going to have any way to know about that itself, right? Because that's all driven, that action of doing that, it's driven by pressing the comma key, hitting the mouse button, and then the dialogue pops up. So that's, I mean, it doesn't make sense for the input manager to actually kind of like track, well, he's pressed the comma. Okay, now I need to look for him to press the left mouse button. Like that doesn't make sense. So we need a more proactive way to tell the input manager, like, hey, ignore everything. Oh, shit, man. This sucks. This really sucks. I think I'm going to go on a run. I just ate a big meal. There's nothing better after a big meal than going on a run and getting a stomachache. So the dictionary can hold a method you need to update, with the key being the specific state and the value being... Oh, wait, I think you already sent that. All right. I'm going to have to think about this a little bit more. Ugh. All right. My 2 to 3 hour... My 2 to 3 hour estimation for this refactor was a little optimistic. But in my defense, I was very distracted today. And now we're getting to the part of the day where the sun's distracting me. Like, can you see the sun's like, oh my God, I stared right at it. Why did I do that? And then you can see how bald I really am. I was talking to somebody the other day, and like I was in the sun, and she goes, "Are you losing more hair?" I'm like, "No, I'm just in the sun. This is how little hair I've always had." Have a singleton static that contains the currently open UI, and other input listeners can do a check to see if it's allowed to process depending on the open UI. What I was saying is, so take the dialogue of take the map labeler dialogue as an example. You have to have something that you have to have, like when that dialogue opens, you have to tell the input manager, this is your state now, right? So one way to do it is, I'm not saying this is not production code, Matthew. This is not production code. But one way to do it is map labeler, right? And so now the code that when the code, where did it go? Like here, this show, you could do something like input manager, instance, set state map labeler, right? Something like that. And then that way the code in the map and the code in the input manager knows, because it like if this was a key code, if this is for the codec, so let's just say this is key code C, for example, right? It would have to have some if statements here, like, oh, well, if the state is map labeler or inventory, then ignore this. It's almost like you need another fucking input handler for the fucking input for the input manager. That doesn't make any sense. It might make sense, actually. It might. Actually, that's actually not a terrible idea, because there might be instances where you need the raw input get key. Oh, fuck. But then, oh, God. This is not an easy problem. Kind of makes me just want to move forward with what we have, just with the spaghettiness of it. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Matthew. Have an enum to check. That's what this is right here. That's what this is. That's what this enum is. They're describing that enum exactly. So all I'm saying is we need to when we set the so I'm calling it focused area, or you could call it UI state, whatever you want to call it, right? All I'm saying is there's two ways that I can think of now in which the focused area can be changed. One is by the input manager monitoring what the user is doing. So if you're in the gameplay state and the user presses I, then the input manager knows, oh, he wants to load the code, or he wants to load the inventory dialog. So let me set the state to the inventory dialog so that I know it, and then pass handling to the inventory dialog. So that's one way in which the state of the input manager can change, is by the input manager listening to the keystrokes. The other way is by another class telling the input manager, like, hey, I need to get a string from the user, so that's the state we're in. Like, he's going to type, and he can type any letter he wants. So the problem is that there are methods you don't want to activate or want to ignore during this state. No, that's not even a problem. It's not even like what I was saying. It's not really a problem. It's just another thing to think about, and that is that there will be external means by which to set the focused area state. UI state, focus area, whatever you want to call it. But there will be multiple, there'll be two ways, at least that I can think of now, to set that state. One is with the input manager itself, by listening to the keystrokes of the user. An example being the letter I, which opens the inventory window. And then the second one being an external class telling the input manager, hey, this is your state now. That's not too terrible, right? Because that's just a matter of, that's really just a matter of just, you could just make this public. Oh, that's probably not a great idea. But set focused area, right? Just that. And then in my example here, this would be set focused area. Of course, Visual Studio is going to have it all redlined because, because over here, this is not actual code. This is just like a scratch document. I think we have a plan of attack. But I don't think we're going to attack. We'll go in at dawn. We go in at dawn. We ride at dawn. No. I think I'm going to work on this. I don't know when. I need to work on it soon because I need to work on it while these thoughts are fresh in my mind, essentially, because I'm going to forget all this stuff. If I don't work on it in the next, if I don't work on it in the next 48 hours, well, I'll stream tomorrow. So worst case, I will at least work on it tomorrow night. But I'll probably work on it today. All right. Does that sound like a reasonable plan to everybody? I think so. No, but it does sound like I eventually got to what you were talking about, KS. It does sound like we kind of came to similar ideas. And I think that's probably the better idea. The best idea. Oh, I see. Yes, you need to update the state based on the current state, and the state itself has to change depending on certain parameters. More or less, yeah. On external parameters outside. Yeah, let thoughts simmer. Yeah, that's kind of, I want to I feel like I have a good plan of attack. I just want to step away from the problem. And I have found personally that it's good to, it's really good to go work out. And that's at least for me, if I go on a run, I do a lot of thinking. So anyway. All right, boys. Well, thanks for joining me on this Sunday morning. God, it's only 11 o'clock. It feels like it's evening. It really does. It feels like it's at 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm ready to go to bed. I might actually just go get in bed. Utilitarian class. Aren't all classes a utilitarian class some way? Well, maybe not all of them. All right, guys. I'm getting off of here. I'll see you in the Discord, and yeah, I'll talk to you later. All right, thanks for watching. Click and subscribe, like the stream, and all that shit. All right, bye.